And here we are, just 2 days away from the start of the SAES series, and we'll be heading to Redstar Raceway for round 1 of this year's championship. My name is Ernest Page, and I'm at ATK Arena in Cape Town, and in Johannesburg, my co-host, Kriya, will be joining us as well. Kriya, how's things going up there in Gauteng?
Ernest, I am super excited. I have been looking forward to this for months. We are in for a massive race season. This is the first GT3 championship in South Africa, plus there's a new format for the endurance series. This means we're going to be bringing you a pre-race show every Wednesday and a post-race show as well.
And we'll be live on the Friday, bringing you all the highlights from qualifying. And don't forget, of course, on the Saturday, we'll be bringing you the entire race live as well, with Kriya as our pit reporter. Kriya, I heard they kitted you out with some very fashionable fireproof gear.
That's right, Ernest. I am going to be in the hot action, in the pits and trackside for every race. But for now, I think we need to kick off with the Ferrari clan in Cape Town, Ernest.
The reason I drive Ferrari is the brand's built around passion. And we are all passionate about motorsport, so...
You know, I've been passionate about Ferrari since I was a youngster. My first Ferrari was a road car. My wife said to me, "You're getting frustrated driving this road car because you can't go fast. Buy yourself a race car." I only started racing when I was 24.
I started out in racing about 2.5 years ago. It was Marcel's fault. He got me to buy a Ferrari race car, a GT3 car, one of the GT3s. It was a bit daunting climbing in the Ferrari for the first time. So I didn't know how to drive it. He got me into the V8 Masters. So I had two good teachers. The two of them taught me how to drive a race car. You know, they don't mince their words. If you mess up, you get your head taken off. It's not so much the expensive car you're driving. It's the expensive cars around you. When you get to R1 million cars and up, people tend to slide it.
Some people.
Some people.
Some people don't give a Continental. We certainly have a car that's capable of winning the championship. The 458 is an older generation car. It's a normally aspirated 4.5-litre V8 motor, so it's not turbocharged. The upgraded 488 really is a 3.9-litre V8 twin-turbo car.
I would say the 458 is more responsive. You know, there's no turbo lag. It, of course, sounds a heck of a lot better.
It takes probably quite an experienced person to tell the difference of the two cars on the racetrack.
Well, I think the strategy or the goal is to always go and try to win. You know, we're not going up to this first round to finish 3rd, 4th, 5th. We're going there to win. This
year we've got a national championship category. As most people in South African motorsport know, it's not easy to get. I think it is the echelon, the top echelon of motor racing in this country. If you look at what we're running all top-end FIA GT3 cars from Lambos. I believe we've got 2 drivers that are capable of winning the championship.
That'll be me.
Okay, look, I think
I'm a happy reserve driver, coming when I'm needed.
I think one needs to understand that Jason's new in the sport, and he's done exceptionally well in his first outing in the Ferrari. You know, Dane's young, he's a youngster, so he's probably got maybe a 10th or 2 on me. Amongst the 3 of us, I think the lap times are pretty close, and every time Jason gets in the car, he goes quicker and quicker. You know, he'll be doing the 1-hour races all on his own. He won't be sharing them. Me and Dane are going to be sharing the drive, possibly because I'm not fit enough to do a whole hour on my own. You know, these youngsters are.
Well, Jason thinks he is. We'll see shortly.
So my first paycheck I bought a go-kart. And that's how I got involved in motor racing. My late father was never interested in it. Always told me it's a waste of time and a waste of money, so he wasn't interested in it. And then, you know, that's how I got involved. And then Dane came around, and he got involved, obviously because of my passion. I got him involved in karting, and obviously he's grown into it as well, and he's grown into a fantastic driver coming through the ranks of karting. You know, Jason's like a lot Lomaki, if you want to call him that, because he's only started racing cars, as I said, 2.5 years ago. So that's really late in life for anybody, especially at this level of competition. So that's the Autohouse Angel branding, the Autohouse Angel racing scenario. Jason's come in as a driver and a huge sponsor of the team, and the 3 of us together, we're hoping that at the end of the season we can show our competitors like Stradale and Scribanti Racing. We're going to show them the middle finger, you know. Okay. So we go to the racetrack, we take it seriously, but at the same time we have a lot of fun. The fun normally happens at the end of the day, after race day. That's when the fun starts, you know. A couple of B&Cs and a couple of things like that will go down. And especially if we've done well, you know, we'll have a big party afterwards. And that's just the kind of whole vibe that we enjoy about racing.
That was some very impressive stuff from our Ferrari team down here in Cape Town. But Kriya, I understand you're outside a very special workshop.
Yes, Ernest, that is right. I am in Benoni outside the workshop of Franco Di Matteo, a long-time competitor in South African motorsport. Now, the backdrafts are filling up a lot of places on the South African Endurance Series. So let's find out a little bit more about these cars.
Look, the concept is a very, very good idea. With Tony Martin and Brian Martin, they came up with a fantastic idea of building the same car, a Cobra. They're all the same, all same chassis, same engines. The concept is very, very good. Just a little bit of keeping track of what the guys are doing, because most of the guys have got the cars, and car owners, cars get rented to some of the drivers. So the cars have to be vertically standard as they came from Tony Martin and them. You're allowed to do your own setup, all those little things, change brakes and get the car sorted. Engine-wise, gearbox-wise and diff-wise has to be standard. As it came from the factory, that's how it has to be. You can't go and change gearboxes and put fancy stuff in it. Then it just gets too expensive. So the basic, what Tony and them tried and do is keep a car that is at the same value, can't go and put expensive tires on and just run away with it. So it's a standard and controlled car, and that's what we like about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Been out now a year after having COVID quite badly, so I said to Willie this year, you know, we take our racing seriously and definitely to go for their championship this year.
It all revolves around the setup of the car and the guys behind the steering wheel.
I don't feel it's too big. We can manage to pull it off this year. I'm 100% sure we can do it. And if we can't do it, it's always next year, but hopefully it is what it is. We'll stick it and burn it to win it.
I will run their car for them. I will look after it and set them up. And, you know, we had the best car last year. At the end of the year, we had the best car. The car was very quick. It was very well set up. Eventually, Brandon bought my car. And, yeah, we're going to be running his car, and let's see. So I know what the car can do, so he's got no excuse.
I think it's the competitiveness, you know. You've got Cobras mixed with Lamborghinis, with Ferraris, all that type of thing. And I mean, if you have a look at it, overall index last year, it was actually a Cobra that won.
I think with Brandon and Willie in the car, I need to have a good prep talk to them because they're a little bit rough at the seams. They haven't raced for a whole year or two, basically. So I think with a bit of coaching, with my bit of experience with their driving style, I think we will be there because they've got a good car underneath them.
Well, I always enjoy the challenge. Growing up in a little farm town, so if it's not a challenge, it's not good. So I'm quite enjoying this.
It actually makes it exciting because you know, you get the guys that will look at the backdraft, you get the guys that will look after the little minis and golfs, and then you get the guys that actually go look at the extreme supercars, you know, with the Lambos and Ferraris and that. So it's a mix. You know, if you look at sports cars all over the world, it's a mix, and that's what you want.
100%.
The concept of the backdraft cars is very interesting, and it's going to add a cool competitive element to this year's racing. Now, Ernest, I heard that you're at Harp Motorsport. Tell me a little bit more about it.
Thank you, Kriya. And yes, I'm outside Harp Motorsport to chat to Steve Humble about their epic 2022 campaign.
Hi, my name's Steve Humble. I'm from Harp Motorsport in Cape Town. We concentrate mostly on sports cars, but we do sports cars, single-seaters and some saloon cars. We race prep the cars, we build the cars from scrap, and we also restore older racing cars as well, bring them back to life. We've done a lot of work for some very prominent customers. This year we're going to bring the Ginetta G57, Pilbeam MP84, possibly the Pilbeam MP91. They're all special to me. They all have different plus points and different negative points. The Ginetta is probably the most modern car out there racing and the most competitive car out racing. Currently it still holds lap records at a number of circuits around the country. The Pilbeams, obviously being built and designed to run at Le Mans, are very, very competitive, even though they're a little bit older. The Ginetta is just the latest evolution of what is essentially a reworked LMP3 car. It's got more power, it's got bigger aero, it's a relatively easy car to run, providing you understand what you're doing with an LMP3 sports car. You have to bear in mind that with these cars and the older cars, they were all designed to run for 24 hours continuously, and that makes a big deal. This year, there's just the one class for the sports prototypes. They're obviously the class of the field, and they're the fastest cars out there, despite what the GT3 cars might think. They still hold their own. It's going to be more interesting because the classes, there was a lot of classes in previous years, but essentially at the end of the day, people are looking for the outright wins. We consider anybody that can run near the front our biggest rivals. The thing with the SAES and endurance racing, it's all down to how long you spend in the pits. There's very fast cars, but fast cars can also be fragile cars. The competitors are racing cars that are not being used every day on the circuits around South Africa. So you've got cars out there which have got particularly good history where they were run both in this country and around the world. I went to my first Le Mans in 1983 and I worked at Le Mans for 2 years in the early 90s. We've got cars that have competed in both America, in the American Le Mans series. We've got cars that have run in Europe. There's 2 here now, but they've only ever been seen on TV, or if you're lucky enough to live in Europe and see the cars racing. So I think people look around at what they can race and what gives them good value for money. We know that to run the Ginetta is cheaper than running a GT3 car. It might sound surprising, but it is. The motors and everything on them is designed to last a lot longer with less maintenance. So driving the Ginetta, we've got Craig Jarvis, he's the car owner. He shared the car in the past with Stuart White. Stuart is renowned for being an extremely quick and up-and-coming driver. He's raced extensively abroad. Craig's raced abroad himself. In the Pilbeams, we've got Francis Carruthers, who's the owner of the car. Francis is a gentleman driver, but he's raced for a very long time from Formula Ford through various different sports cars. He shared the car with young Umpi Sport, who also proved to be very, very quick in the car and adaptable, coming from a front-wheel drive and karting background. Myself, I've run the other cars and have been racing for far too many years. Over the time, I've raced everything from saloons to older cars right up to the LMP cars. So driving an endurance race is totally different to driving a sprint car race, because at the end of the day, you've got to consider everything that's out there to bring the car home. And you're racing against cars that are both as quick as you are and also a lot slower. And lapping can be the problem that causes you to not finish the race and therefore make it a complete waste of time. I suppose one of the funny things that I remember, though it was quite terrifying at the time, was racing in PE and following a car through the S's there, and out of the back of the car came a complete electric wheel gun wrench, bounced on the track and bounced over my head. I didn't actually pick it up, I just told them where to go and collect it. Didn't think it was funny at the time, but funny afterwards. But we've had some good races, and that's the other thing with the SAS is the guys, they're all competitive, but they'll all be prepared to help each other out. And generally, there's always good feeling and vibe at the end where everybody gets together, has a drink and congratulates each other.
Well, I had no idea that we had a Formula 1 workshop right here at Killarney in Cape Town. But enough from this province. Kriya is heading over to Vereniging to go chat to the guys at Ultimate Outlaws and find out what their plans are for 2022. Kriya, over to you.
Yes, I am. Now, there is no way that we can start the season without chatting to one of the majority shareholders in SAES. He's also a team owner and a competitor. Let's chat to Isaac Spies from Ultimate Outlaws.
You know, it's something we worked hard for. You know, a bunch of gentlemen that came together, and Aldo Scribante started it, you know, on a serviette, and we called us together at I think it was at Swartkops or something. And it started there. It's grown since, from humble beginnings to where we are today. Obviously, we have to give credit to Roger Pierce, who, you know, had done a tremendous job to build the foundation. And obviously, we just took over. People must be a bit patient with us. I think we obviously brought in a lot of technology. Well, I think, for instance, what we're doing currently. you know, is to have a lot more awareness. Facebook, Instagram, having chat shows, you know, having studios, having interviews like we do at the moment. Also, when it comes to the racetrack itself, you know, live TV coverage in terms to make sure that the quality is right, the hardware, you know, to make sure that we have the best. What a pleasure or honor for me to drive with a pro like Mikhail Timber, because it puts me in a much more, well, I would say a mentor position. He with me because he teaches me a lot. I've learned so much from this guy, and you know, that experience comes to us. So it's very important. As an amateur, you can now enjoy, because he will bring the expertise actually to the car and, you know, to the racing. This is a platform that we've created for international awareness. And we've already joined last year the Kailami 9 Hour. And I think some of our youngsters already got attention through this platform. So definitely this is the place to be, and this is where you want to be. And it's a much cheaper version in South Africa than to go overseas. I mean, if you think in terms of a currency value, you know, so there's definitely a chance here. Zolile, you know, as my friend and as my partner, has done so much for the sport. Just for instance, Africa Race Together, you know, the foundation was formed. You know, we are 100% behind him. And I think it's about time that we have a collective, you know, sport of all South Africans. And it's dear to me, and I'm very proud of it. That's why I'm wearing it. This is really, really proper machines. I mean, you can relate to them. They're in the street. Here you can see them actually race together. The sounds are unbelievable. I mean, actually getting goosebumps here. It is so amazing to see them and to hear them. And I think to see the professionalism of the teams, we've also made it very interesting with pit stops. So the teams are getting involved, the mechanics, you know, they have to put fuel, they have to change tires. You know, if you choose your favorite, it becomes really something to watch. So it's a lot of entertainment.
It is so nice to hear about all the changes that Isak and his team are bringing to the Endurance Series, and I cannot wait to see them in action throughout the year. But that's not all we're bringing you for 2022. We're also bringing you the virtual SAGT Series. And Ernest, you've made your way to our sim racing partners down in Cape Town, ATK Esports.
That is indeed right, Kriya. I am here at ATK Esports, and we've got some big news to announce this year. This year, there will be a virtual GT series, and that GT series will be run on a game called R Factor 2, which is used by the likes of the virtual 24 hours as well as Formula E. Now, each round, there will be a virtual round that includes qualifying and 2 one-hour races. And drivers like Luca over here might even stand a chance to test a real GT car as well as a potential season drive in the 2023 season. So if you are a South African citizen residing in South Africa, is he a South African citizen, by the way? Be sure to enter this once-in-a-lifetime competition. But for now, it's my turn. Kriya, over to you. Excuse me. I'm going to just take that off over there.
Well, that brings us to the end of the first pre-race show. But I can't leave you without giving you all the details about this weekend's program. So on Friday, Ernest and I will be coming to you live from Redstar Raceway with a recap and a look at the competitors and the teams. On Saturday, it's bright and early at 8 o'clock live from the racetrack. 8:30, we're going to be doing a grid walk, and then the first race, the SAGT race, gets underway. At 11:45, it's race number 2 with the 4-hour endurance starting at 3 o'clock. Between each race, we are going to have first reactions, podiums, and the official press conference. So lots to look forward to this weekend. If you want to attend in person, make sure you get your tickets from the gate. For myself, Kriya Gangia, we'll see you at Redstar Raceway. and welcome to the South African Endurance Series. My name is Kriya Gangi and I'm joined by Ernest Page as we're coming to you live on a beautiful day from Redstar Raceway. It's so beautiful, you know what, Ernest, I'm going to put on my sunglasses. You can hold this.
Okay, let me grab that then. Well, folks, here we are. This is the start of the season, the South African Endurance Series. But this race happening right now is the SAGT Series, where we've got some of the best, fastest, and frankly, most beautiful cars I've seen lately, all going around the same circuit trying to find out who is going to go the fastest. I know we're not supposed to pick favorites, but I've always been a bit of a Lamborghini guy myself. Cleo, what about you?
I'm not going to pick anything just yet, but what I am going to do, Ernest, is I'm going to start walking, and I think we need to go and meet some of these drivers that are going to be on the track today. So this track is amazingly narrow because it's built for MotoGP, it's built for bikes, and that's kind of what is going to be special about this. We're going to see not only how the cars can handle, but how the drivers can as well. And I think, Ernest, you're going to chat to Aldo. Aldo is sitting on pole for this race, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how this car gets into that first corner. Aldo, how are you, Aldo?
Silvio's doing very well.
Oh, Silvio, sorry.
I gotta say, I get confused between the two cars. You're in the bright, they look so similar. You're in the bright yellow one. I would imagine there's always been rivalry between the two brothers, but today Silvio Scribanti on the pole position spot. What does it feel like, and what is the plan going into that first corner right at the bottom?
Well, first of all, it's imperative to get it to the first corner first, and to hold the lead, and I think it's going to be pretty close between the three of us here, the top three on the grid, and just try and maintain the lead and try and hopefully pull a gap. But I think it's going to be quite challenging, but we're going to go give it our best, and we're going to try and not make mistakes, keep it consistently quick, the lap times, and hopefully cause the other guys to make mistakes.
It's an hour-long race, and you now suddenly have a new teammate. Kriya, you spotted the teammate earlier on, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that we've got a driver here that is not supposed to be driving.
Michael Stephen is
Exactly.
driving. Yes, that's correct. Tell us about that little bit of a mashup.
Well, yeah, there's obviously no brotherly love in this sport, as you can see, and I mean it's the start of the season, so you know there's no reason to have any sort of team orders of that nature. It's the first race of the season, so Mike is obviously out for the day because of his car, and Aldo thought, well, you know, he asked obviously my consent, and I said, of course, you know, no problem. So Mike's going to do the first stint, and that's why I'm saying there's going to be nothing in the first three of us. I can see it's going to be rather exciting, and I think it's going to be great for the spectators, the viewers out there, and I think it's going to hopefully be a good spectacle to watch.
Well, I'll definitely get your name right when you cross the finish line today. Sylvia, thank you so much for chatting to us. Cool, I think let's move on to our second driver, which is Dane. Dane is in Autohaus Angel, and he's sitting second on the grid today. Dane, how's it going?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
Are you ready for this race? What can we expect? What are you looking forward to going into that first corner?
Yeah, well, look, if there's a gap, I'm going to go for it, but it's a long race. The race isn't one in the first corner.
What is your strategy, considering that this is the first out of 2 hours? We're going to do the second hour a little later today. What is your strategy? What do you want to achieve out of this particular run?
Yeah, look, I think if Aldo does, if Silvio does get the...
You did it as well!
If Silvio gets the whole shot, I think I'll just stay behind him, see where I'm stronger, where I'm weaker than him, try to build where I'm weaker, and yeah, if there's an opportunity, pounce and hopefully go for the win.
All right, cool.
I've got some inside information about this car. You guys changed tires recently. You mentioned that the setup was changing. How's that situation panned out, and how confident are you going into this first race?
Yeah, look, we got the car hooked up nicely on old tires, put some new tires on, and the balance went a bit off, so we've made a change. Haven't had any time to test it, but we're confident that we've made it better, so you know, we'll see in the next hour.
Yeah, exactly, in the next hour. That's what it's all about. We've got an hour-long race ahead of us, Kriya, but another hour to go as well, and there are more cars on the grid here, and here's the second Lamborghini. There's a Lamborghini for the Scribantis over here, and then of course we've got this Lamborghini belonging to Leclerc and Sepuka as well, and we got we found Michael over here, Michael Stephen. I heard you weren't driving there. You told us yesterday you weren't going to drive, the part didn't arrive, and yet here you are.
Yeah, you know, I think the incredible sportsmanship has been shown. Although Scribanti offered to share his car in the 2 1-hour races, so a big thanks to them. We're on the grid today, and we're going to go out racing.
Yeah, with my teammate. Oh, there you are.
What is your kind of, because you're coming in a little bit late, have you tried out this car? Have you practiced in it? Are you a little bit nervous?
No, not at all. As I said yesterday, fortunately I did BOP in most of the cars. I got an opportunity to do the same this morning in Aldo's car, so I'm familiar with it. I have raced or driven it before at other racetracks and that, so it's not completely new territory. And yeah, we're just going to go out there and have fun and see what we can do.
All right, well, Michael, all the best for today, and we hope to see you do some good laps.
Yep, thank you very much.
Cool. I think we're going to keep walking down the track a little bit, Ernest. There's one particular driver that I really want to chat to, and that's the Creative Inc. team. And I saw him over here, Mikhail Timber. He's not only going to be racing in this series, getting some serious track time, he's also going to be doing the Endurance Series a little later today, and he's set to go overseas to race internationally. So, Mikhail, how's it going?
I'm good, thanks, and yourself?
Good, thank you. Are you ready for today's race? What are we expecting going into the first corner?
I'm expecting a lot. I'm deciding to dive everybody into the first corner. Obviously, we're going to keep it calm. Obviously, we're going to be race within our limits. See what we can do from there.
Ernest, you were telling me a little bit about how this car is set up.
Yeah, exactly. So this car isn't spec to GT3 spec. It's a Porsche Super Cup car, which means it doesn't have traction control, it doesn't have ABS. But you had a massive disadvantage, but the pace seems to be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, obviously, I'm trying my best. Without the driver aids, it's a little bit more difficult than what it would be with the driver aids, but we live and we learn.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of living and learning, you've got plenty of living coming up ahead. You've got lots of learnings as well, I'm sure, but the travels overseas are in the pipeline. But today, I suppose you are focused on the task at hand.
Yeah, we live in the moment. Today, my task is to do as well as I can here, and then after this, we focus on going overseas.
All right, thank you very much. We're appreciating. Best of luck.
Thank you.
I think we're going to track a little bit back now. There's one specific driver I want to chat to, and that's Chop Sabuka. Now, he is probably one of the most famous South African drivers. He's done fabulously internationally and here in South Africa.
You guys work on a
show together. We work on a show together, yes. And of course, he did fabulously well in the Kyle Army 9 hour. So I'm going to walk you over and see if we can grab him. I see he's running away from me. Chops, don't run! Don't run, Chops. You know I always come looking for you, Chops. Tell us a little bit about today's race and what are you hoping to get out of this particular stint?
I think more importantly it's for us to just finish and bring the car home safely, and the rest should follow suit. But we aim probably to finish where we are or gain one position more. I think Silvio's got good legs and he's adapted quite well to the circuit. So we'll see what becomes of that.
But I mean, you said that exact same thing to me at the grid for the Kyle Army 9 hour. You just wanted to finish, and you guys came out with a fabulous result.
Look, before you can win anything, you got to finish. If you don't finish, then it's no point. So, but yeah, look, I think importantly, it's always ideal to finish a race, bring the car home, and then start working with the baby steps to get on pace and be right up top.
All right, I know you have questions.
Yeah, Chelsea, we've got a pleasure to finally be chatting to you. To finish first, you must first finish, is how the saying goes. You guys did have 2 wins last year, if I'm not mistaken. And do you want to repeat that success? Obviously you do, but what does that success look like, and how do you get there this year?
Well, we've got to multiply this year. We've got to apply our minds to the best we can. We've got to find some spirit ourselves. So there's a lot of to do this year to really multiply our wins for the first time.
Fantastic stuff. That is Chop Sabuka, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out for him on the track. We've got somebody else here that's going to be joining us.
This is actually Aldo.
Always Gavanti, what a pleasure to see you. And I heard you've recruited some works drivers here to jump into the car with you. What a move.
Yeah, I think it was a good move on my part. I was happy with my qualifier yesterday. Qualified 3rd on the grid. Unfortunately, Michael had some bad luck with his clutch. And then I thought to myself, well, it's round 1 of the championship. Why not get him involved with myself, you know? Boost my position on the grid maybe, or in the race, and maybe get a better result at the end of the day. I mean, he's a pro driver, he's a lot of experience, and yeah, I'm looking forward to a good, exciting day's racing.
Yeah, definitely a win-win for both of you guys. You get to drive with the pro, you get to drive the Lamborghini, a definite win-win. But the team dynamic between you and your brother, a little bit of friendly rivalry there, how's that going?
Man, we had that conversation at 6 a.m. this morning where I said to him, look, I call him Chich. Chich is his nickname. It's the first round of the championship. There are 12 rounds ahead of us, so the dynamics are fairly different at this stage. We're actually out there for each other, for ourselves. Although we are racing as a team, we're there to maximize our points collection for the day's racing. And no hard feelings. You know, if it was round 11 and one of the Scuderia cars were in line for the championship, I would have said to Michael, the seat's not available.
All right, well, thank you so much, Aldo, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to move down the grid a little bit more and chat to Jason. Jason is the other driver in the Auto Haas Angel, and don't swear, please don't swear. We are live online. Tell us a little bit about this track, because it's quite taxing as a driver. You're driving it for an hour now and an hour later this afternoon.
Well, it's a little hard because I don't even know how to drive for the start. But yeah, every corner closes on you. But yeah, it's turning out to be a fun track, one of the better tracks, which is great.
Yeah, that's an interesting statement, because I've spoken to some of the drivers, and some of the drivers are actually saying that this track is actually kind of cool. From the onset, we had some concerns about it being a bike circuit, but the thing is, I've got to go, I've got to get out of here.
I don't know where he was going with that question, but let's maybe talk about your strategy for this race. How are you going to be helping Dane kind of capitalize, and you?
Well, if Dane slows down long enough for me to catch him, then I'll be alright. But other than that, I'll have to wait until he tries to lap me. But yeah, otherwise it should all be good.
I'm not going to stop you. I know you need to get into your car. I'm going to keep chatting to you guys. We have a really amazing race lined up for you. As you can see, we've spoken to most of the guys that are really going to be competitors in this season moving forward. It's interesting to see that the guys from Scribanti have done this by opening Michael Stephen and giving him a seat in the car for this race. But like they said, this is the start of the season. We're trying to, have a little bit of fun, include everybody. I'm just going to pull you, Johan. Let's go off the track. I don't want you to get run over or anything. So it's pretty much a lot of fun. We want to see how they can maximize their points, maximize their advantage, and if Michael Stephen is going to give the team that, then it's a great advantage for them. Also, one thing you need to look out for as you're watching this race this afternoon or this morning, as Ernest is going to be commentating, is really how the track kind of flows. It's very narrow, it's built for bikes, and the cars kind of need to now stick to it. Some of the corners are so sharp and they follow each other so quickly that the cars are going to be slowing down to about 20 kilometers an hour. Then they're going to hit that second straight, which you're going to get up a lot of speed, really give the car a lot of advantage. Then it's windy again. That particular part of the track actually has quite a crude name that I won't repeat, but I know a lot of people that know Redstar Raceway understand what I'm talking about. From then, it's into the long straight. Really there, the cars are going to get up to a maximum speed of about 250 kilometers an hour. Really pushing a lot of speed down there. Expect some overtakes and expect some good action. I'm going to move off the track. It seems like the cars are getting ready to start. Remember that this is going to be a rolling start. You'll see the cars do a formation lap, and then it's a start. For now, it's over to Ernest.
Folks, here we go. The racing is about to get hot and heavy as we make our way to the start line. And there you go. That was the view from the side of the circuit, and that was me again. Thanks for the introduction. Paddock area. Well, after a lot of stuff up close. I myself had a fantastic experience now, just getting to know the cars, getting to know the drivers, and these drivers, they are here to have a good time, but they are also here to compete, and the competition is hotting up a lot. I spoke to some of the drivers yesterday and asked them, do you guys want to look after these cars? These cars cost $7 million. And they told me we are here to, of course, bring the cars home, but at the same time, we are here to race. And that's exactly what we are about to be doing, folks. You can hear the engines revving in the background. My name is Ernest Page, and this is this South African Endurance Series, and this is SAGT, about to kick off the South African GT Series happening right now, and for the first time ever we've got an official GT Series happening right now in South Africa. And for me personally, I feel this is a massive step forward for South African motorsport, and I'll tell you why. Because previously we've got drivers in like the likes of David Peddle, you've got obviously the Van der Linde brothers, all making their way overseas, making their way into GT racing, one of the most competitive series in the world. But then at the same time, they get to a position where they get to their ceiling. They get to a point where they're in South Africa, they've hit the South African ceiling, but now they've got to go overseas and drive a car that they've never, in some cases, driven before. Now we've got the opportunity for these young drivers like Dane Angel to get some seat time, and you can see Dane Angel right on the front row of the grid there, get some seat time and be able to compete when they go overseas, not have to learn a new car, you know, all of the things that come with traveling overseas. It gets very, very expensive out there when the guys go overseas to go compete. So it's really a big step forward for South African racing. And, you know, there will be longer races. This one's an hour. The drivers can share the car. So that also means that there's opportunity to share the vehicle. There's opportunity to invite younger drivers that might not be able to push together 4 million, 7 million rand as we now head off from the start line. The racing now suddenly kicking off. The drivers now suddenly getting into position. This is the South African GT Series. My name is Ernest Page, and folks, we are about to go racing as they make their way through the first section over there. You can see the Lamborghini leading us off. Such a tight section through the first right-hander there. These corners all really turn in on each other. You see the Ferrari there of Dane Angel, and I spoke to Dane yesterday about that exact corner there. They can hear the turbos chuffing on that turbocharged Lamborghini. Here we see now the Into Africa car, Chop Sapuka driving there, got Patamba just behind him, then Jason Woodson over there, and then behind that Ranjis in the Audi as our cameraman lines it up. Once again, the pace car in front over there leading us off. And I've got my live timing in front. Yes, Silver Scribanti, your pole sitter, with Dane Angel in second position. That will probably be the battle to be watching. Aldo Scribanti in third position. I wonder if he's actually in the driver's seat, or if, yeah, looks like Aldo is in the car, and he will be sharing that car with none other than Michael Stephen, who is an exceptional driver. Michael Stephen, 17-time South African champion in various disciplines, and the two of them will be sharing that car, giving Aldo Scribanti a little bit of a help there, I'm sure, is Michael Stephen. These drivers all confessing that they're still learning the car in some cases, and we've seen that overseas. Getting into GT racing for the first time takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to get used to the car. It takes a lot of time to become competitive, and these drivers over here know this, and this is what South African GT racing. Oh, just look at that shot, folks. Look at that shot, and just look at that. We see the Autohaus Angel car there making its way through. That's Jason in the number 46 car, the normally aspirated Ferrari. I know they look the same, and I might get confused here and there between these two cars, because they really do. I spoke to one of their pit crew earlier on, and he mentioned to me that you got to look out for the ducts on the side, as we see Aranji's there in the number 1 Audi making his way around as well. And here we go, folks. The driver's now getting into formation, slowly slowing down, and the nerves now starting to pump as the safety car leads them off down the long back straight. That back straight is, in fact, 800 meters long, so long that some drag races have been happening there. So this is happening absolutely live now, and you can see the sponsor screens on the top of your screen. We've got Fast Racing Fuels bringing us the action. Is the Lamborghini, the other Scribanti over there. It's Aldo Scribanti tucked in tight there behind him, with Chop Sapuka looking on as well as they make their way through the final penultimate corner now. Onto the, the Lamborghini gets off quickly. Looks like the lead Lamborghini, Silver Scribanti, gets off very quickly there. Let's see, they're still making their way through. He's trying to get a bit of a gap, looks like it. And the final section now before the final straight. Here we go, folks. We are about to go racing. This is the South Africa GT Series, and off we go. Lamborghini in the lead so far, and down the inside is Dane Angel. Dane Angel down the outside. So here comes the other Lamborghini. Aldo Scribanti gets the jump on Dane Angel there. Aldo Scribanti into second position right in front of Dane Angel, but this is not a sprint race, folks. This is an hour-long race as Silvio Scribanti now gets into a bit of a lead there. And Dane Angel now slots into third position. Behind that, Chop Sapuka looking on. And Chop Sapuka winning this event 2 times previously with Tolile Leclerc with him as well. Aranji's further back, and in front of Aranji's we got Jason Ubertson over there. Chopsapuka looking on in 4th place. They are currently going in formation as Patamba looks on as well. The other Ferrari making its way through there now as well. And here comes, looks like that's Leclerc there in the Lamborghini, in the McLaren, as they make their way down the second straight. This circuit has 2 straights, if you can, 3 straights, if you can believe it, all very fast. But at the moment, things stay similar to the start, other than the fact that Dane Angel has slipped down into 3rd position after fantastic overtaking maneuver there by the number 45 car. Oh, we got a car off the circuit there. Looks like it. That looks like the Audi over there. Looks like the Audi went off the circuit there. I'd love to get a replay of that. Hopefully, we can get a replay of that as we look on at Jason there in the number 46 Ferrari, the normally aspirated Ferrari. They said that car sounds better than the other one, the turbocharged one that's currently in 3rd place, and the number 45 car looking on. And judging by the pace there, I can't help but think that Michael Stephen might be inside that car. No pressure, applying the pressure big time onto that Lamborghini. Here comes the number 45 car, goes as a look around the outside. The other Scribanti car goes defensive, and this is the race right here for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd position. They make their way once again to complete the lap. Silvio Scribanti in the lead. Ola Scribanti in 2nd position. The times now 154.9, 155.4, and 155.0 for 2nd position. Man, they're so close. Less than, that is absolutely no time between these two Lamborghinis. 154.994 and 155.007. And I don't see the Ferrari there. The Ferrari's fallen back. That looks like Dane Angel's fallen back. And Dane Angel not in the running at the moment, as the two Lamborghinis, the two teammates, now run together. And it does look like Dane Angel has slipped back. I don't see him here. The car's been absolutely fine the entire weekend, but maybe they've come in for a quick pit stop. I'm not too sure what's going on there. We're going to have to wait for some feedback on that. If we can get some information on that, that'd be fantastic. We got currently still the Scribantis in the lead. Silver Scribanti in the yellow car over there. That's how you spot them. Still in 1st position, as we got the two Aranji's cars further back there, the Ferrari and the Audi over there. That looks like Arnold Neveling and Charles Aranji's in the Lamborghini and the Audi. Arnold Neveling in the 86 car. Charles Aranji's in the number 1 Audi. So Neveling in that Ferrari over there. Mikhail Timber in 6th position. Currently Jason in 5th position. Ibbotson in the 46 car. And the lap time's now 155.0 for Aldous Scribanti there. His fastest time of 154.9, as here they come once again. And I'm not too sure if these guys are going to be having any tactics other than to be driving like this nose to tail for the remainder of the session. They got a 56-minute session ahead of them. They come past the start line over here, and just an unbelievable sound. As oh, look at how close they're getting there. Look at how close they're getting. And here come the two Chopsapuka now in 3rd position. Dane Angel slipping down to 4th, and Dane now dropping his times to a 2:01. So there's a problem there on that Lamborghini, looks like it, as Dane Angel slipping down to a 2:01 on that last lap. Hopefully he can get that time back, but so far the Lamborghini is now starting to eke out an advantage, and a big advantage, nose to tail. Of course, none of this would be possible without our sponsors. And as you can see, Michelin, our tire supplier of choice here today. And I went into the paddock area earlier on and see the Michelins piled up, looking very grippy and very expensive. All these Michelin tires, Michelin Pilot Sport, as they're called. Toys R Us, of course, one of our official sponsors as well. I'm in the mood to go get some toy Lamborghinis now, I tell you that, as the two Lamborghinis still running 1 and 2 with the lap times almost exactly the same. 153.1. I would imagine that these two have practiced this type of driving, I'm sure, because there's no team pressure happening, no pressure from the other driver. So that means that the two of them can run nose to tail for lap after lap, knowing that the driver behind won't overtake. And there on your screen, you see the current standings. Aldous Scribanti, Michael Stephen in second position. Silver Scribanti, though, in first place. Chop Sapuka in third. Dane Angel slipping down to fourth place with a time of 2:01, his previous lap time. Jason Ibbotson in fifth place. He's going to be very happy with that. The man from Cape Town that's relatively new to motorsport, just 2 years racing experience, having driven in the V8 Masters series before, now finds himself at the sharp end of the spear when it comes to South African motorsport. Charles Arangi's there in seventh position, but Mikhail Timber in that's Mikhail Timber and Charles Arangi's there now tussling it out. Looks like Mikhail has slipped behind Charles, and Charles Arangi is now carving his way through in that Audi. Back to the action in front as we see the two Lamborghinis. The yellow one is how you'll identify Sylvia, and although in second position there in that black Lamborghini, and a fantastic performance from both of them so far. And here is what looks like Dolile Letaka in the McLaren over there, currently running in ninth position in the McLaren, 2 laps in. And we go back to the action in front over here as the guys make their way to the back end of the circuit. And this sharp left hand over here doesn't look that banked on your screen, but I tell you what, it's a very banked surface, and this circuit is so demanding with so many what the drivers are calling, Letlaka pulls into the pits. Letlaka has pulled into the pits off screen. I'm just watching it now on my side. Letlaka has gone into the pits as the drivers now, the bunch of them tussling it out. That is Jason Ibbotson, we've got Arangi's, and of course that is also Mikhail Timber there in the Porsche. But remember, Mikhail is running the GT3 spec in that Porsche, so at least the Super Cup spec, I apologize, in that Porsche. So that car does not have ABS or traction control, unlike the other cars over here, as the Lamborghini of Sapuka now starts to get under pressure from Jason Ibbotson. Here comes Arangi's. Arangi's has a look down the inside, but thinks better of it. Oh, here comes, no love lost there. No love lost as the number 55 car takes the position, and the 45 car slips back. But no, it's still Silver Scribanti in the lead. Silver Scribanti and Aldo battling it out. Here we go into the first corner. Aldo's got the line down the inside. Silvio cuts him off. Silvio and Aldo battling it out here. So this is not team orders, folks. These guys are racing for position, and the action now hotting up as the 45 Lamborghini has another look down the inside, and I myself trying to figure out who's who in the zoo here as the drivers make their way down the straight. Silvio and Aldo battling it out. Luckily they've made the car slightly different colors, as once again the black Lamborghini has a look down the inside, letting him know that he is there and there to fight. Don't be fooled by the cars on the circuit in the background. That is in fact the highway back there. So if you do see a civilian car on the track, it's one of the angles looking back at the highway. We are out here in Dalmas at Redstar Raceway. I'm not even sure where we are, to be honest with you. I'm a Cape Town boy, so when I come to Joburg, I'm always kind of lost, other than the fact that the GPS tells me where to go. So I've been told we are in Dalmas, and I've been told that we are at Redstar Raceway. But I got to tell you, this circuit is fantastic. The facilities here are fantastic. The atmosphere is fantastic, and the drivers and the cars, they happen to be fantastic as well. And speaking of drivers and cars, here they come into view now. Now a slight gap for Silvio, Aldo's fallen back, and here comes Chop Sapuka, and that is Arangi's over there. Sapuka now slipping back because Ibbotson now is Ibbotson slipped back. So on the timing screen over here, Ibbotson is still in fifth position, but I think things are changing up quickly here as he's now slipped back behind Arangi's, and the 23 car Chop Sapuka getting massive pressure now from Arangi's in the Audi over there, and Chop Sapuka having to go a little bit defensive here. Now here comes Arangi's down the inside. Arangi's makes the move. Arangi's makes the move down the inside of the straight there and makes it stick as they head into the final section of the circuit. We're going to be seeing them coming across the main straight now, and here comes Arangi's behind him. We got Sapuka behind that, Jason Ibbotson, and behind that Timber as well. And all of them making their way through a nice little tussle taking place between those drivers now. as they make their way into the first right-hander. And there is Sapuka on your screen in the 23 car, right behind Aranji's now. Aranji's in the Pagid racing car. They're carving his way through Stradale, carving his way through. And there is Patamba, the young driver, Creative Inc. car, going to Germany to compete in the one of the junior DTM categories, so watch out for him in future. Name certainly to be watching out for. And as mentioned, this car not on the same level as the cars that he's racing against, but he is looking for seat time and will be taking part in the 4-hour race later on as well. So he is looking for seat time, and we make our way into the first 10-minute mark as the drivers come through now, yet to make their way through that banked section over there in the background. You see the two Lamborghinis still battling it out, and here comes Aranji's once again. That's absolutely stunning looking Audi. Charlotte Aranji's car looks fantastic in those colors, I gotta say, as we now take another look at the timing boards. So Vescribanti still leading us off with a best time of 151.334. That's his last time as well. So Silvio now putting the hammer down, and his previous lap was a 151.734. That was his fastest lap as well. And Michael Steven, Aldous Scribanti combination now slipping back a little bit. The gap now has increased to quite a substantial. Oh no, it hasn't. It's back down again, and looks like now Aldous Scribanti also dropping the hammer with a 50.258, suddenly finding some more pace as he now gets back onto the tail of the Lamborghini in front. These two definitely picking up the pace. Frankly, unbelievable times from these two drivers here. 151s, 150s. The top 4 drivers all in that space, with Aranji's now joining the pack. And Aranji's hunting them down. They're going to want to try and be more consistent, I would imagine. Will this pair, because they don't also want to get caught up by the guys behind, that's for sure. Here we go once again. The racing continues thick and fast here between these two. No love lost between the two brothers. And this Scribanti name really is quite synonymous with South African motorsport, especially of late. But in case you didn't know, these guys have been karting since the 90s. And the Scribanti, the elder Scribanti brother, lots of experience with karts, and the slightly younger one, a former works driver for Opel back in the day. As you see the, once again, fast racing fielders. Now we see the number 46 car there of Jason Ibbotson. Oh, down the outside comes the Lamborghini. This is going to be close. They're going to touch. They touched ever so slightly there, and muscles his way through. That's the 45 car. And finally, after 10 to 12 minutes of racing or so, the 45 car sneaks into the lead. And the 45 car sneaks into the lead now as Aldous Scribanti crosses the line to take first position. And a frankly fantastic move there. Whew, that was very close stuff, especially considering the caliber of cars that is currently being piloted around this circuit. Across the line goes Patamba, Mikhail Patamba, driving alone for this race, but he'll be sharing the car with his father later on. Him and junior and senior Patamba. That's going to be a little bit confusing for me later, I'm sure. But here comes the Into Africa car. That is Chop Sapuka, followed now by Jason Ibbotson. Behind him, Patamba in the Creative Inc. Porsche Cup car. And up close, that Porsche Cup car really does look the part. You can see that it's slightly different to the other vehicles on that grid, but it certainly looks just as impressive upon closer inspection. Fast Racing Fuels, one of our sponsors today. And if you look at your top right screen, you'll see that these are the companies responsible for making this all happen. There are lots of teams in the background also making this happen. Big shout out to Eric Bass, who I'm sure gets no love in the public eye, but we'll get some from me today for making all of this happen. bringing all these teams together and this fantastic production that we see here today. Of course, this is the South African GT Series, the premier series in South African motorsport, and with some of the fastest cars in the country here today. Certainly some of the best looking cars. I mean, just look at that. When have you seen a Lamborghini and a Ferrari nose to tail? Oops, get a bit squiggly there. Does the 46 car of Ibbotson. Dane Angel still in third position, still running solid times as the Scribanti car in front now sets an best time for everybody in the older Scribanti car. The 49.9 breaks into the 49s, and from what we've heard, the bikes here do 51s, so 49, no mean feat then. A exceptionally fast time will that 49 be around the circuit. So in good company there is Aldo Scribanti, and I'd love to get confirmation from our producer if that is in fact Aldo or Michael Stephen driving that car. And folks, the honey tea has come out, and for those of you guys that were listening to the Kyle Army 9-hour broadcast, honey tea is my go-to drink, so that could be a sponsor for me down the line, I'm sure. Because lots of talking going to be happening today, and lots of racing action, of course, as Ibbotson once again comes into view in the Auto House Angel car. One of the Auto House teammates is missing today, and that is the driver car combination of Marcel Angel, the leader of the team, the patriarch of that team, and also a very, very quick driver. Him and his son tussling it out to see who's the quickest. Jason, the sort of junior driver in the team, just 2 years racing experience, but finds himself tussling here with the big dogs. As across the line comes the Scribanti car with Silvio in second place. And now solidly running in the 49s is that number 45 car. As we go back on board with Ibbotson, I'd love to see where Dane Angel is though. If we can get eyes on him. The 51 Ferrari. And there he is. Let's see if that's the 46 once again. That is the 46 once again. And here comes Chops Sopuka over the line. Chops Sopuka over the line, followed by Jason, and there goes Patambo once again. That is the first section of the circuit. Going through the first sector, they're going to make their way into the tight right-hander that feeds straight into another tight left-hander. And these drivers have to tuck it in real tight over there. Some crazy lines there that you got to take to make sure that these corners work, because the circuit initially designed for bike racing just a few years ago, about a decade ago, now finds itself a GT racing circuit. And that is the number 45 car of Aldo Scribanti and Michael Stephen in first position with just 10 laps completed, 20 minutes of racing done. And Michael Stephen finds himself sitting pretty now with that lead car. Letlaka on the pit wall now, and unfortunately he does seem to be out of the race. Hopefully nothing too terminal. The leader comes across the line, and then behind him Silvio Scribanti. Trying to see if I can get eyes on Dane Angel. And here comes Dane Angel now. So Dane Angel still finds himself in third position, doing decent times, still in the 51s, 52 second range as he pits now. Dane Angel goes into the pits. Dane Angel pulls into the pits. And I'm not quite sure what that is about and why he is pitting right now. It's only 20 minutes in. He is driving alone. So Dane Angel not sharing the car, but still managing to pit. There might be a problem with that car. I suspect there is a problem with that car, because otherwise he wouldn't be pitting, I'm sure. So Dane Angel, someone that was in with a chance for taking this. Yesterday was at one stage running fastest in practice. Now finds himself in the pit lane with hopefully nothing too terminal to worry about. On your screens there is your leader, And now the number 23 car, Chops Puka, finds himself in third position. And as we spoke to Chops earlier on, mentioned to finish first, you must first finish. I think that could have been, got a Google who said that, could have been Sir Colin Chapman. But certainly that is the case in motorsport, especially with endurance racing. And here comes the 46 car in that tight left-hander. That is turn 3 over there. Very tight corner. And these turns, I tell you what, going around the circuit, you realize that these turns go left to right and back again, and rinse and repeat pretty much as the drivers have to navigate their way through what is arguably one of the tightest twisting circuits in the country. Seeing it as a go-kart circuit, but the bike certainly would enjoy it because they've got a lead this way and that.
Because this is the only
And I
team
do
that will be
think that
changing for this race.
this is going to be one of those
that's
days
okay.
where the drivers will be very fatigued. Jason Ibbotson
And I meant from a
went in for the bro hug yesterday,
get.
and he was dripping sweat when I did, because lots and lots of work happening inside the cars. Even with power steering, it gets very hot inside these cars. Of course, these are GT3 FIA spec cars, as same as C internationally. So don't think that these cars are any different to what you're seeing overseas. Maybe a slightly older spec than some of the international cars, but certainly not anything less when it comes to power and balance of performance. And of course, you're wondering about balance of performances. All these cars are set up to be almost exactly the same when it comes to performance. So balance of performance is the way that the FIA, and in this case South African GT, controls how these cars perform. The Ferrari is back out, and the Ferrari of Dane Angel now back out on circuit. I wonder if they changed back to the old tyres, because he did mention that the new tyres and the old tyres are causing a little bit of havoc with the car. So maybe they changed it back to the old tyres. And you see Ibbotson getting a little bit squirrely there. The car, not that, to get the power down in these cars, even with traction control, it's really about trying to get that power down as smoothly as possible. Patemba there, with a bit of a dab on the brakes, looks like it. Maybe a little bit of left foot braking there, just to try and make sure that he gains traction. As mentioned, this car struggling a little bit for traction in areas because of the lack of ABS and traction control. ABS and the traction control in some cases working together as the traction control system, but definitely we've got a situation here where we've got a car that's not quite as fast as some of the others, but a good way to practice, get a bit of a proving ground going. And we see the Ferraris now running nose to tail. The 46 car leads us off. That is Jason in front there with his teammate, the faster in most cases, Dane Angel, slotting in behind him. Here comes the Lamborghini, and there you have it, folks. That is what the standings look like at the moment. Olis Scribanti, Michael Stephen combination in first position. Silvio in second place. Chop Sapuka. Oh, 46 car spun out. The 46 car has spun out, and that is Ibbotson. Ibbotson has spun it out. We were just talking about the traction control earlier on. Jason Ibbotson, the new man on the grid, still learning the car, still learning the game in itself, has spun out, but he gets it going again. Might want to watch out for that undercarriage, and that's just a little bit too much power. Just a little bit too much power there on corner exit, looks like it. And gets overtaken by the lead car. That's on the final sector here. So just a little bit too much power, maybe under braking into the final section. Hopefully we can get a replay of that. As the 23 car once again circulates. And Redstar Raceway, of course, the circuit that we're on. So many corners over here, so very many corners over here.
13 to be exact. So that happened at turn 12 and 13. Looks like it happened at turn 12. So that's at the end of the very long straight, and maybe just a bit too late on the brakes there, and found himself squeezing the pedal, trying to make the corner and then spinning it out, but no damage by the looks of things. That's the 51 car of Dane Angel now, who finds himself getting a position for free. And the Auto House Angel car making its way now down that long back straight we were just talking about, going into turn 12 up ahead. That is the number 23 car of that is Chop Sapuka. Some Gulf colors on the Chop Sapuka car. Gulf, of course, the fuel company, and iconic livery from the Gulf guys. Toys R Us, our other sponsor there in the top right corner, as Aldous Krabanti in the 45 car. Car looking good out there today. 149.5, the best time so far today. 149.5 by your lead car. The only car so far to make it into the 45-second bracket. And Mikhail Timber, even though he's in the slower car, now finds himself in a position where he is in 4th position overall, and he could see himself go for podium. And this is exactly what endurance racing is all about. It's about keeping the car on the circuit. And I myself heavily involved with sim racing, where it's so different. You know, you've got so many more mechanical type failures here, because this is the real world, of course. And sim racing does lend itself to slightly less mechanical failures, shall we say. So these drivers now are having to deal with the very real possibility of something going wrong mechanically on their cars. Mechanical failure and damage, but hopefully that won't be the case much more as the day continues. And there is the 51 car. That is Dane Angel in the Auto House Angel car across the line. Dane Angel. And that is Letlaka currently on your screen. Sorry, that is Sapuka currently on the screen. As we cut back to your leaders down the long 800 meter straight over there. Hard on the brakes they have to go. The drivers really have to squeeze down on that brake pedal, try and make that first, that right hander, that last corner, and then find themselves on yet another straight immediately after that. The Ferrari of 51 car there, Dane Angel. He's got to really try and carve his way back now. I think he's got everything to play for at this stage, because unfortunately early on he had to pit and found himself in a slightly more unadvantageous position, as opposed to starting on the front row of the grid is where he started this race. There is Mikhail Timber in 4th place currently. With Dane Angel right behind him now, Ibbotson behind that, followed by Aranjis, followed by Arnold Neveling, and Letlaka in 9th position. Dane Angel now hunting down Patamba. A full 5 seconds faster than previous lap. So Dane Angel now starting to find some pace, looks like it. He's going to try and get back onto the podium at the very least, I'm sure. But of course, folks, this is one of 2 races taking place today. one of 2 hour-long races taking place today, so these drivers will be back later on. So don't want to push too hard in this one. They've still got to make sure these cars survive for the second hour-long race. With Podium on your screen there, racing again later on as we now go to the pit lane over here. This looks like the first of our pit stops taking place. Yeah, so that does look like Aldo Scribanti over there. So that was Michael Steven driving the car. That was in fact Michael Steven behind the wheel. And now we've got one of the Scribanti brothers getting ready for the changeover. So that was Michael Steven starting us off, and Aldo now sitting on the pit wall waiting for his driver to collect him up. 30 minutes of racing completed. And Aldo Scribanti now waiting on the pit wall for his driver to collect him. Quite literally on the pit wall. I can see him from here as he speaks to one of his crew over there. They're actually communicating with the driver by the looks of things, asking Michael Steven, the quintessential professional, the best time of 49.5, how things are looking out there. Michael Steven doing enough to get a slight lead. The lead now not substantial, but certainly enough to warrant some concern there for Silvio on his own. So Silvio will be pitting but jumping back into the car. So the rules state that the driver has to get into the car, or at least pit the car, hop out, take a step back, and then hop in again. So those are the official rules, and these drivers have to abide by those rules to make sure that even if you don't change drivers, you still manage to keep things fair. There goes Patamba. Sapuka making his way through. Of course, Chop Sapuka, a legend in South African motorsport. Oh, Chop Sapuka into the pits. And looks like the pit stops are about to start. Looks like the pit stop. Oh, we got
As you can see over here, Chop Sapuka is coming in for his pit stop. One of the things you'll see is that the drivers actually need to change seats here. So Kolile is helping Chops out of the car, and then Kolile will get in to complete this stint. It is one of the longest parts that kind of happens in a pit stop, is a changeover of the drivers. Then we'll change some wheels. We'll also get everything, make sure the pressure is right, the balance is right, and then the team will go again. It seems like they are having a little bit of a problem. This pit stop is taking a little bit longer than expected. All right, it seems like there is a bit of a problem. I see Chops is trying to get Kolile into the car. Let's see what happens.
So yeah, we've got a slight delay there in the pits there. Chop Sapuka now swapping cars with Kolile and swapping seats at least. Kolile coming in earlier on with his McLaren, and he was out there earlier on driving on his own, and now he's back in the pits, parked the McLaren and jumps into the Lamborghini now. So that is the first of your pit stops taking place, and driver swaps. Michael Stevens still out there. Still with best time of 49.557, 149.557. And we're going back to the pits. We got Kriya, got some more information for us from the pit lane.
So it seems like they did have a problem with the tire changing gun. It wasn't getting enough air pressure, and therefore the tires were not being able to be changed. This is going to cost the team a lot, especially since they are doing a driver change now as well. And then we're going to have to see how that's going to pan out as they go into the second leg of this race.
Back to the action on circuit. The 46 car over there, that is Ibbotson in the 46 car, and Jason Ibbotson on the circuit now as Ibbotson comes through to complete another lap. He's in 5th position, but we got Kriya back in the pit lane going to speak to one of the drivers there to try and get us some of that inside information. Kriya, over to you.
I'm standing by with Chops Sabuka. Chops, that was an amazing stint for you. Some really competitive racing out there.
Yeah, indeed. I think we just have to dig more and find a bit of more speed. I see front runners just kept running away. I think it boils down to setup. We'll try and dial out those issues and see if we can be competitive in the next round.
What we saw there wasn't the greatest pit stop. What happened?
Well, not at all. I think fatigue also comes into play, quite honestly, because if you haven't been on it as frequent as you would like, that fatigue plays a role.
How is it going to come into playing into your strategy going into round 2?
Well, we're just going to do best with where we are now and try and focus on what we did wrong in this pit stop and hope for the best for round 2.
All right, go take a breather. I feel like you need a bit of a rest.
Thank you.
That's Chop Sabuka. He's just swapped out with Kolile. Kolile is on track at the moment. Ernest, back to you.
Yep, Kolile now currently on track, and as you can hear there, Chop Sabuka out of breath. Lots of work happening out on the circuit, and he's got to work things as the Lamborghini now comes to lap. Looks like Patamba over there, 45 car gets past Patamba, and number 45 car across the line there, still in the lead, doing now 1 minute 51 his previous time, and a time of we've got about 22 minutes of racing left on the clock, as you can see in the middle of the screen over there, and the 45 car still comfortably in the lead now, quite a far ways down the road. He's currently completed 11 laps, sorry, I apologize, 20 laps, and Silvius Grabanti also on 20 laps, Dane Angel on 19 laps, and then the gap now 9 seconds between first and second place, and Mikhail Timber on lap 19 with Jason Ibbotson on lap 18. Fortunately, Jason spinning out earlier on, that cost him quite a bit. Zolile now out in the car. We got 2 names for Letlaka on your screen over there, but you can ignore the bottom one. That was him in the McLaren earlier on. He's now back out there in the Lamborghini as we go on board with Jason once again. 23 car there of that is the Letlaka car, now in what looks like 6th position. So Jason Ibbotson doing really well to get up into 5th. Mikhail Timber doing well to get up into 4th. Dane Angel now back on the podium, but the pit stops need to start pretty soon. Unless Dane Angel's pit stop happened very early on. We couldn't see into the pits early on, but he did come into the pits. So Dane Angel could be doing the overlap. Dane Angel, we just got confirmation Dane had a drive-through early on, so that was not a pit stop. So no undercut for Dane Angel. Dane Angel with a drive-through, thanks to our producer over there. As the next Lamborghini comes through, 45 Lamborghini comes into the pit lane there. That is Michael Stephen. Michael Stephen now currently in the pits, and Silver Scribanti gets the jump on him as we now go to the pit lane to check out this pit stop.
As the driver swap out there as well, as we see Holder getting into the car. A beautiful clean stop in the car. This car is dropped, Aldo gets strapped in. Also going to see if I can grab Michael Stephen for a quick interview here.
Mike's dead.
So we just lost Cleo over there, unfortunately, but we'll be back. There was Michael Stephen that jumped out the car as the guys frantically try and get that pit stop completed. The 51 car, Dane Angel, now carving his way around the circuit. We saw early on just a drive through. But the 55 car, now Silvio Scribanti, leads us off. He is currently first on track position, and with 21 laps completed and just 20 laps to go, although Scribanti now has everything to play for, but Silvio still has to pit as he now comes up behind Mikhail Timber as we look at the Ferrari. And notice the ducts on the side of this Ferrari. That's how you tell the difference on these cars, folks. The 51 car, turbocharged, the latest iteration, the 488 of the two. The other one, of course, the 458. And just watch out for those ducts on the side of the car if you want to know which one is which. Here comes Leclerc, currently in 6th position as he makes his way around. And with these cars, you really got to finish the race, and that's so important. And Leclerc knows that, I'm sure, so he's going to want to bring that Lamborghini home as him and his teammate Chopsapuka try and make their way onto the podium. Jason Everton in 4th position, Leclerc in 6th, so he's still got to get past all of those guys. Mikhail Timber now in 4th position. Jason Everton, I think he might have pitted, if I'm not mistaken. He's now currently in 5th position, slipping down, so we're just waiting for that confirmation there as we see. We've got an interview lined up shortly. Probably, well, so far, the fastest driver on the circuit today, Michael Stephen, and 17-time South African champion. And we're going to cut over to that now. Kriya, here you got Michael Stephen with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ernest. I'm here with Michael Stephen. That was a beautiful
Yeah, looks like we've got some technical issues in the pit lane there as our audio team works to sort that out. You guys are going to have to just listen to me as I entertain you for the rest of the session, or at least the next couple of minutes till we get that problem sorted out, I'm sure. Redstar Raceway is where we at today. Redstar Raceway is where the action's at, and this is the South African GT Series. My name is Ernest Page, and you are watching us live at the moment. As you can see, the number 23 car making its way around the circuit. That is Leclerc there behind the wheel. The 55 car, Silvio Scribanti in the lead, started in pole position, but unfortunately got usurped by Aldo Scribanti and Michael Stephen, with Michael Stephen behind the wheel earlier on. He's currently now in the pit lane catching his breath, and Aldo Scribanti taking the helm of that Lamborghini. Just 15 minutes or so of racing left. The 45 car there on your screen in 2nd position. Currently in 2nd position, Dane Angel now finds himself in 3rd. So Dane Angel carving his way up through the field. Silvio Scribanti 1-2 at this stage, and they couldn't have hoped for anything better coming the weekend as one of the Ferrari's pits. One of the Ferrari's pits, that looks like Jason Everton. Jason Everton pits in the 46 car, and the number 51 car still circulating. The number 1 car, the 51 car still circulating there, Everton. Or at least, I apologize, Angel. Junior Angel, of course, Senior Angel, unfortunately not able to join us this weekend. So here we go into the pit lane. Unfortunately, we don't have audio in the pit, but this is the 46 car here, and that is Jason Everton. He's just got to hop out the car and hop back in. He's driving the entire hour, and the guys had a bit of a chuckle as on circuit we've got Dane Angel going past the back marker. It looks like Leclerc, but in the pits here is where the number 46 car is making its change, and you can see them frantically just getting him back into position. And these drivers have to make a pit stop, compulsory pit stop. Of course, the pit stops also have to be a certain duration, so not too much of a rush then, but it is still difficult, especially with the sizes of the South African teams as opposed to international teams. And of course, these drivers, not all the outfits are fully professional outfits. Jason in the Pro-Am category. And off he goes. Off goes Jason Everton in the pit lane, going through the Michelin arch over there. The Michelin arch. And there he goes. Into the first corner. The number 46 car. Auto House Angel. And just gotta love that color scheme. Very easy to spot these cars. And I was talking to the team earlier and I asked them, how do you tell the difference between these cars? And as you can see on the side there, the side pods do not have the ducts on this car. So this one normally aspirated, not needing that extra air for those turbochargers at the back there. There goes your second place man. Now was the leader, but second place at the moment because of the overlap. And the gap now 1 minute and 11 seconds. So once the pit stop takes place, you should jump back into the lead. And the time there for Aldo of 55. Aldo's going to have to keep those times as low as possible, as Ibbotson goes to complete the first part of his lap after the pit stop. Oh, Ibbotson runs a little bit wide there, looks like it. Ibbotson a little bit wide there. An unorthodox line as the Lamborghini goes into the pits now. That is Silvio coming into the pits. And there we go. Silvio Scribanti in the pit lane now. Look at how frantically the teams are working. They've been talking about the fact that they've got experience with the pit stops, and will that pay off? Will that pay dividends? Will that pay dividends? And Silvio Scribanti now in the car. He's not going to swap drivers though, but the team frantically running around, fireproofs on, the car goes down and everything seems ready for action. This is going to be a very quick pit stop then, if they're able to get the car out immediately. The door closes, the revs come up and off he goes. Silvio Scribanti, something's hanging off the back of the car there. Hopefully nothing serious. Hopefully nothing serious. But Silvio Scribanti out onto the circuit. It's come off the car, so that's fine. But a very, very quick pit stop from Silvio Scribanti, and let's see where he ends up now. And here comes the other Scribanti car. So Silvio Scribanti has made the jump. Silvio Scribanti has made the jump. Aldo Scribanti slots back into second place, and Silvio now back into the lead. Silvio snatches the lead back on the pit stop. Unbelievable stuff. A very fast pit stop from him, and even after all that work done by Michael Steven, Silvio Scribanti now manages to snatch the lead back. And certainly no love lost between these two teams. No team orders taking place here, as Scribanti still finds himself in the 1-2 position, but not quite the same way as it was earlier on. Jason Ibbotson currently down the order in 5th place. Dane Angel now in a podium position. Still haven't seen Dane Angel pitting though, to be honest, so let's see how that works out. So the order now changing hands here, as the South African Endurance Series kicks off. This of course is SAGT, and the SAGT Series happening right now and live, as we cut to the leader, number 55 car. And the 45 car on your screen now finds himself way down the order. And just shows when it comes to lap times and when it comes to pit stops, it's so important to get the pit stops right. It's so important to make sure that you go as fast as possible in the pit lane. But what a pity there that this race, unfortunately, now has seen a change of hands there. It did look like Aldous Scribanti was doing enough, and that Sylvia Scribanti would then still slot into second position, but certainly not the case right now. And there goes your leader. There goes your leader, the number 55 car, with just 10 minutes to go. Will the order stay the same? We're going to find out soon enough. The Scribantis, though, still with a 1-2. So they're not going to be too fussed about losing out. Of course, this is part of a two-heat race, effectively race 1 and race 2. And the drivers will be going out again later on as the 46 car crosses the line once more. Ibbotson now in a favorable 5th position. Mikhail Timber, favorable 4th position. Dane Angel in 3rd place. And this, of course, is the South African GT Series. And you are watching the Premier South African GT race happening right now. That's Patamba on your screen. That's your leader over there. Qualified in 1st place and finds himself in 1st place once more. And this, of course, as mentioned, the opening race. And I'm on the live stream now. See, Ari is joining us all the way from Cape Town. Ari, how's it going? Ari, of course, one of our marshals in Cape Town. Thanks for tuning in, Ari. Always appreciate your support. And the live stream happening on the SAGT Racing page. You can let your friends know. And there comes the number 46 car once again, squirming on the brakes. There is Ibbotson. He's not holding back by the looks of things. Not holding back at all. Not holding back at all is Ibbotson, and you can see he's really pushing quite hard now, going into the final stages. And 1 hour of driving is no joke, I can tell you that. These guys have to do it twice today. And later on, of course, we've got the 4-hour endurance race. And there goes the 51 car, Dane Angel, hard charging. Dane Angel hard charging, but Patamba now makes his way out of the pits. You can see the Neanderthal racing car there on the right hand side. That will be in action later on in the 4-hour enduro, so stay tuned for that. The final few minutes of the SAGT race now ahead of us, just 5 minutes remaining. The number 23 car, as I look at the live stream, Dane Angel getting some love from Logan Eckermans on the live stream. Thanks for the engagement, guys. We appreciate that. Don't forget to share it on your pages. Let your friends know that the GT racing is happening right now. Number 23 car looking good out there. There goes the GT, the SAGT car of Leclerc and Chopsapuka. Both of them sharing that Lamborghini over there. And in the background you can see the leader making his way through. Just listen to the sound of these cars. All of them running similar setups. Except for this car over here. This one not running traction control and ABS, as our leader once again makes his way through. And a relatively substantial lead then for that driver. Relatively substantial lead so far, all things considered. And the only thing that separated them was the pit stop, effectively. So the 51 car across the line there. And Dane Angel really finding himself in a battle today, having to battle it out. Dane Angel in second position at the moment. Does he still not have to stop? Things have changed quite a bit. Silver Scribanti now in first place. Dane Angel now in second place. But does Dane have to stop again? So Dane Angel finds himself. So Dane Angel looks like he did stop. We might have not seen it, but Dane Angel somehow finds himself in second position. Michael Steven and Aldous Scribanti now doing 202s. So they're quite far off the pace at the moment. There might be something wrong with that car. So the order has changed quite a bit with Silver Scribanti now in first position. Dane Angel now finds himself in second place. Aldous Scribanti in third position. And Jason Evertson in fifth with Mikhail Timber in fourth place. Leclerc in sixth place. Evertson crosses the line again, 28 laps complete. And there's your second place man, Dane Angel. We didn't see him going into the pits earlier on. And what a shame for Scribanti as Silvio crosses the line. So a 1-3, both of them on the podium so far. It's not over yet though, but certainly Dane Angel very quick at this stage. Just did a 152, and Dane Angel still trying to chase down Silvio Scribanti, looks like it. Silvio just did a 58, Dane did a 52, so 6 seconds per lap. But they've only got about 1 or 2 laps left. The difference now 16 seconds between the two. And Dane Angel has found himself in a position where he is absolutely charging down on the Scribanti team. Already having passed Aldous Scribanti and the Michael Steven car for second position. Silvio Scribanti pushing quite hard there in the 55 car. And Silvio Scribanti now finds himself doing a 58-second lap. He might still have another lap left after this, at least one. As 1 minute and 30 seconds remains. We're waiting to see when Silvio crosses the line what his time's going to be. So Silvio Scribanti coming through to complete the lap, and this is fifth place Ibbotson. So, but the battle continues between Dane Angel, and now I see Dane coming through. He's quite a way back though. Oh, that's sorry, that's Ibbotson. So we got to go to Dane Angel, the number 51 car. So there is the 55 car, your leader. The gap now 16 seconds. Here he comes across the line. Last lap is the call. This is the final lap. I think he's done enough so far. Looks like it. Dane Angel still charging hard. Dane Angel goes across the line with a time of 52.7. So 6 seconds a lap faster at this stage. Still catching up, but nowhere near enough. Silvio Scribanti just circulating. Aldous Scribanti does a 55. But Certainly not fast enough at this stage. We're on the final lap, folks. This is the final lap. This is for position. Patamba doing exceptionally well in 4th place. The rookie driver Jason Ibbotson in 4th place. Tolile Letlaka in 6th place. And here they come, folks, the final few twists and turns. This is Redstar Raceway. This is the South African GT Series, the Premier Series in the country. And you're currently watching your leader make his way around. Silvio Scribanti in the lead. An unusual turn of events then, as we see the car starting on pole position, ending in first place, but that is not the entire story. If you tell someone that he started on pole, finished on pole, that would not be the entire story. Ibbotson crosses the line. He's got one more lap to go. And here comes your leader, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final few turns for Silvio Scribanti on the final lap of the SAGT Round 1, Race 1. My name is Ernest Page, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the final few corners. Let's put our hands together for the winner. This is Silvio Scribanti across the line, takes the win. Silvio Scribanti gets it. Silvio Scribanti snatches it. And there comes Dane Angel just behind him. Dane Angel right behind him gets 2nd place, a hard charging Dane Angel. So close, so close. That's practically exactly how they started at the beginning of the race. And can you believe that Dane Angel gets it? The flag is waving for Aldous Scribanti and Michael Stevencar in 3rd position. The final spot on the podium belongs to them. And 1, 3, 4, Team Scribanti. As Mikhail Timber in the car that's not the same as the others gets a big round of applause across the line. Mikhail Timber, fantastic drive from Michael Steven, gives him the thumbs up from the side of the pit lane there. And Mikhail Timber gets 4th position. Here comes your 5th place man now, and a fantastic drive from him as well, as we keep eyes on the leader on the final formation lap. They're going to make their way into the pit area for the prize giving. And here comes Letlaka now. Letlaka would be another lap down. He's still got one more lap to go, looks like it, but I think as per classification he will be completed. One more person that has to cross the line officially would be the other Ferrari of Ibbotson. A fantastic drive from Jason Ibbotson. One tiny mistake here and there, but otherwise the rookie, I'm sure he's punching the air at that stage, because of course one has to finish this type of race, and that's exactly what he did. We've got your Lamborghini now, your winner, circulating, the marshals cheering him on. It's always a cool feeling when you doing the last lap after you've completed the race and the marshals are cheering. You get to wave at your friends in the crowd, and the marshals punching the air. Maybe they're just happy the race is over and they can take a break, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's more a case of they're happy to see such fantastic racing. There was some really tight stuff at times. An hour-long race unfolding with a couple of pit stops in between. And here we go, into the pit lane goes your winner, to, I'm sure, raucous applause in the paddock area. And there he goes, the Lamborghini of your leader, Michael Steven, walking across your screen there. Here comes 2nd place man, or at least 5th place man. That is Jason Ibbotson over there. There's your 2nd place man, 51. A fantastic drive from Dane Angel, so close. And I'd love to know from him what exactly went wrong early on. I don't think the entire story is out there with Dane Angel. As Ibbotson still carves his way around the circuit. The Autohaus Angel Ferrari doing well to complete its run. Both cars relatively evenly matched, but certainly different as Leclerc pulls in 6th position for him. Tolile Leclerc gets 6th place. Just look at that site, Redstar Raceway. Of course, one of the premier circuits in South Africa these days, getting used more and more, even though initially it was a bike circuit. Used often for events because it's so big. You can separate the circuit if you want. It's got multiple configurations, and unlike many other circuits, can be run clockwise and anti-clockwise. So, very interesting circuit indeed out here in Dalmas. I said like I know where I am, but I basically just follow the GPS to get here. As Cape Townians, we've never heard of this place called Dalmas yet. But I think now we might just. SAGT is the racing that's happening right now. We are currently waiting for drivers to make their way through to the podium. And once they do, we will see the podium celebrations, of course. First, second, and third on the podium spot, and that's what the drivers are here for. They're here to race, they're here to win, they're here to perform, and that's certainly what they've done so far today. As we look on to the circuit over there, it's such a well-maintained circuit, I've got to say. Like, if the owners and organizers are listening, just a wonderful place to spend time. Even the cafeteria is well equipped. I needed sunscreen yesterday, and they had it at the cafeteria. So it's just one of those places that's well thought out in many ways, and just a pleasure to spend the day here at Redstar Raceway. Of course, also a pleasure to watch the SAGT racing series happening right now, as the drivers get out of the car, and I'm sure the customary bro hugs and handshakes happening in the paddock at the moment before they make their way onto the podium to enjoy the spoils. Are coming first, second, and third. Of course, Scribanti getting first and third, separated by the Autohaus Angel car, with Silvio Scribanti starting on pole position, slipping back, and then getting that position back again with a pit stop. A genius move from them. As you can see there, the Redstar. Even the logo is awesome. The RSR logo over there, just looking so cool. We got the Michelin flag waving in the foreground. Of course, that is the rubber that the GT cars are running on. And our cameraman cuts to something in the distance. I'm not even sure what that is, folks. That's how Cape Townian I am. We're looking at what looks like some sort of mill or power station. Yep, I've just been told by my producer. See, I've got someone in my ear. We've got a producer that feeds me information. So as knowledgeable as I sometimes sound, oftentimes that information gets fed to me. And that looks like a coal mine over there, I've been told. And apparently there are many coal mines in the area here. And today, of course, is a full day's racing. We've now going to be cutting to a break after the ceremony, and then we'll be back later on. But first, the ceremony will take place, in which case we'll then look forward to race 2 of the SAGT, and then the 4-hour endurance race taking place later on. Today is a full day and the first round of the South African Endurance Series. So this umbrella organization, the South African Endurance Series, is what will be bringing you the endurance races as we now cut to the pit lane, and we're going to be seeing the celebrations in the pit lane very shortly. There we go, over to you, Kriya.
Finish line, congratulations, what a race.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I must say it was a tough race. Mark gave me a little bit of a driving lesson there in the first stint. So well done to I think just a big thanks to Byron and our team for preparing 2 cars, first and third on the podium, and you know, they never missed a beat. So well done to Byron, and just great to be here on the first race of the season, staying on the top step. So let's hope we can continue.
So very competitive racing from you guys. Is that what we expect in the next one?
I think the next one should be closer. I think Dane made a mistake in the first corner and went wide and lost a lot of positions. Unfortunately, put him out of position. So if it wasn't for that, he would have been there, I'm sure. And yeah, and Mike and I had quite a tussle there.
A very entertaining tussle.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, great excitement, and yeah, well done to them as well.
Cool. Well, thank you very much and congratulations. I'm going to now get to the winner of the Pro-Am. That is Mikhail Timber. Congratulations, this was an amazing race for you.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit more about the drive.
It started off pretty well. Tire conservation was a big part of it. Towards the end of the race, the assist started being needed. Otherwise, it wasn't a bad race. I was quite happy with it.
And you really started to see that your car can keep up with the guys in the other GTs.
Yeah, it was just a little bit difficult keeping up with them, but it's worth it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mikhail. I appreciate it. Well, there you go. That's from our winners. We are now getting ready for the podium, and I see some of the drivers just getting their suits on and getting ready to go. Ernest, are you still there?
I am indeed still here, Kriya, and what an exciting race that was. I mean, can you believe that these drivers were pushing for an hour? I saw some of the drivers were quite out of breath there, Kriya. Yep, definitely some of those drivers out of breath, and some of them having to push very hard for the entire hour. Some of the drivers electing not to drive for the full hour. Of course, the drivers are given that option. They're allowed to change, and as per the rules, they can do that. And looks like we're going back to pit lane, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, cool.
All right, we've got podium and trophy handovers. I've got Isaac Spitz, who's the chairman of the SAES, that is going to be handing over the trophy. So let's start with third place position, and that goes to Aldo Scribanti and Michael Stephen in Scurrius Scribanti. Coming in second place with a fabulous drive, coming back into second position, is Dane Angel from Auto Haas Angel Racing.
Dane Angel.
And a fabulous drive, starting on pole position and ending in first place is Silvio Scribanti, driving for Scuderia Scribanti.
Top team manager.
And to top team manager, we are giving the award to Scuderia Scribanti. So very big congratulations to the team. A 1-2 finish from Scuderia Scribanti, and then of course Dane Angel from Auto Haas Angel. There we go, big celebrations coming from the podium here.
There we go.
And Michael Stephen getting in the last word there. A great performance from him today in the first race. Remember that they do have a second race coming up this afternoon. The grid position will be from how the cars finished in this race this afternoon. Teams are definitely celebrating. It's a great achievement for them as the first race of the season. Alright, it's time for the second podium of the morning, and that is the SAGT Pro-Am podium. Great achievement from these guys. I know that speaking to Chap Sabuka a bit earlier today, he said all he wanted to do was finished, and now he gets onto the podium third. So if we could put our hands together for our third place position from Chap Sabuka and Rolile Leklaga in the Into Africa Racing team. Chap seems to be a little bit confused on where he ended up finishing. All right, coming up second in the Pro-Am series is Jason Watford from the Auto Horse Angel Racing team. And then even though his car was set up a little bit differently, he still managed to secure the win in the Pro-Am. A big congratulations to Mikhail Timber from Creative Ink Racing. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, your GT, South African GT Pro-Am champions for the first race of the season. It's time for that champagne, boys.
So the Pro-Am drivers not holding anything back there. They certainly were willing to spray the champagne on each other. I think they need to save those racing suits for later, because they're going to need them. There's lots more action coming today, folks. As you can see, you got the endurance cars on the circuit. They're doing their final couple of practice runs, South African endurance racing practice runs, and we will be back later on to watch that action. But of course, later there will also be the second round of the SAGT runnings, which will be taking place at 1 o'clock. We'll be back on your screens at 1 o'clock for more action. My name is Ernest Page, and there you have it, folks. Skrabanti gets third. We've got Auto's Angel car getting second place, and of course Silvio Skrabanti starting from pole, finishing in first. He is your winner. But folks, that was not the entire story of the race. You can of course watch the race. It will be on our Facebook page, but join us again later on at 1 o'clock when we are back to watch the second race of the SAGT racing series that's happening later on after 1 o'clock. My name is Ernest Page, joined by Kriya Gangia and the rest of the team. We'll see you guys at 1 o'clock, and until then, stay safe and be ready for some more exciting racing. We'll see you later.